From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks, presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hello, everybody. Craig Sherwood here with you, along with Craig Durling.
Good evening, everybody.
And as always, bringing up the rear, Ross Benson.
Thanks. I like to be known as the rear. Just for that, I think I'll remove my...
His middle name is Caboose.
Take my hat off and good morning, America. I can't say that. That's right. Welcome to the week that was.
The only time it's not going to be the rear is when you have to wear the donkey costume. Nobody wants to be the rear in that thing.
Good point.
You asses. Let's go.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Nah.
Well,
Suddenly we've gone explicit.
We've gone there already, huh?
Explicit.
Well, a couple things before we start with the week that was that's a couple things from last week. Number one was we talked about the new terminal, replacement terminal, new terminal coming to the Burbank Airport. And Ross found out that the groundbreaking is actually very soon, going to be January 25th.
Oh, don't we have a drum roll for that?
Oh, that was his big announcement, wasn't it?
Well, actually,
it was my disagreement.
It was, I told him it would be this year, and he said it wouldn't be this year.
Well, you know,
more or less this month.
As soon as I got home, I got an email from one of our airport commissioners, and that was the first line. I said, "Somebody listen to us, or did they just know that?"
That was really good timing.
Yes.
So we'll have more for that in our next week's show, and talk to you about how you can go to the groundbreaking, where it's going to be, and all about it. And I'm sure we'll be attending.
We gonna do a remote. We're gonna be live from the groundbreaking of
we could be.
Replacement termine.
That would.
This is history.
You know, it's funny.
It's Burbank history.
What's funny is we actually did a little tour tonight after our pregame meal, and we went through where the Avion Center is.
Avion, yeah.
And I remember 4 years ago, it was just an empty lot, and we were there for a groundbreaking, and now it's an entire city in that place.
It's a bunch of empty concrete now.
Well, Craig Durling, did you ever go out there for evac training?
Well, all the motor training was over there.
Yeah.
But I never did the driver training.
Well, they had done some driver
training. I must have done it at least once.
Yeah, because that dirt lot, they love running over cones. The police department kept out there, and they used to crash and burn. And
so,
well, okay.
And
calm down
we were
over there.
With everything except for one thing, and that was the Randy Donuts signage.
Yeah, we needed help to find that.
We couldn't find Randy's Donuts.
They were closed anyway.
We were sitting right in front of it in our car, and Ross had to describe exactly, zero us in to where it was.
Yeah.
See the sign? See the sign?
It's not really a sign. It's a banner hanging from the...
It's like this big.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing a big, giant donut on top of a building.
Being that big is probably about 4 feet by 8 feet.
Well,
I
know that you guys took the...
We have our audio people only who can't see our...
It's about that big. About yay big.
Well, I gave you guys the...
What's that big?
About the size of a dinner platter.
Hey, watch
okay.
it. Watch it. I thought you were going to say the size of...
Aren't you cheeky tonight?
Yes.
Hey, I had some clams.
See what happens when we get a ribeye in you or whatever you have.
I got to put a rating on this show tonight?
They might have to. Those
We're going to have to. We're going
clams
to
and
alert our
mussels.
sponsors.
Well, they're not sponsors, but besides Randy's Donuts, you got to see where Wingstop is, or which would it be?
B is being.
And next to them was...
They were all familiar. There was the dog
Jersey
House.
Mike's?
Oh, Jersey Mike's.
The dog Haas.
I've eaten at that Jersey Mike's a couple times now. It's great. You told me
Why would you drive all the way over to that place to go to a Jersey Mike's?
I think where I live.
Well, you live near there. I live closer to the one on Paves.
Right, and I've never done I'm not a Jersey Mike's guy.
I live right by my...
Get it Mike's way.
I live right by my computer, and I push DoorDash, and it shows up in 20 minutes.
Well, for those of us who leave the house.
Yeah, that Mike's way?
Yeah.
One time they put too much of that you got
They can drench it. But it's fun to watch the operation. They got a pretty good operation by a little assembly line back
food
there.
Is...
Yeah.
I've had a couple of meals. And then what was the other place?
Doghouse.
But what was the name under the doghouse?
Lieferschließen. I don't know
It was beer or something about the
it was a
beer.
beer.
Oh. So
It was in German.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, okay.
They serve beer at all the dog houses. The one here.
Do they?
Molester
I've
Landerstube.
never been into Taco Bell.
Okay, well, that's good.
Over by Empire?
No, right here.
Oh,
Craig remembers Taco Bell.
That's what it used to be.
What was it before Taco Bell?
it was a Taco Bell without a drive-through.
You're correct.
That's right.
Yes.
And right across the street
then-
was Lightning Doves.
You're right. But no, they made that a drive-through. And
Actually, across the street.
Actually,
Across the street was the drugstore that had the greatest chocolate malts in the world.
Ooh, chocolate malt.
yeah, not many people remember the drugstore
The drugstore.
at the corner of Warner and Olive.
And then Warner Brothers said, "We're taking that building.
We're taking that block.
We're taking that street also."
But that Taco Bell before was that. It was a Atlantic Richfield gas station.
Yes, it was.
And there was a bar.
Hopefully they had a drive-through.
Well, there was a Shell station between Taco Bell.
Actually, the gas station was just down at the corner of Screenland. That's where they had the fatal accident that one time.
Right.
Yeah, that was a little. That's the empty lot right now.
We're dating ourselves.
Yeah,
I had hair back then.
And we haven't even gotten to
I don't
the week
date
that was.
anybody.
Are we still talking about the groundbreaking?
We haven't even gotten to the shake-up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And one more little note before we even start the week is already this year in January in Southern California, we have now had 4 earthquakes over a 4.0, which means one thing: are you prepared? Are you prepared?
How about that? You feel that?
Yeah, it's the whole
You feel that?
whole place is shaking.
Feel that?
But they're going to
How much water do you have on hand?
2 cases.
Oh, wow. You're
I also have
prepared.
2 cases of batteries. Double A's.
There has been a lot of seismic activity, actually all around the planet.
And
Recently,
considering that we are
it's been
now
very
now
busy.
very due for a
Ooh.
6 to 7 pointer.
Ooh.
I think they once came out and said that the San Andreas in L.A. is not capable more than like a 7.5 at the
No, don't dare it.
very
It
maximum.
sounds like a dare.
But no, we can't get the 8 or 9 point they always have in the movie where the
See,
whole
we can't
where we fall into a
win
volcano.
anything.
So, but still, if we get a 7.0, they did a doomsday document that predicted like 2,800 people would die, and
Well, and it's all exponential. It's
Yeah.
not like a 6.8 is 0.1 worse than 6.7.
No.
It's all compounding.
yeah, I guess
So it's-
a 6.8 is like what 25 times more powerful than 6.7.
Oh, it's yeah, something dramatic like
Okay,
that.
you guys, I always come prepared. You see, I got my flashlight in my pocket all the time.
I can see what you had for lunch.
You're going to see what I had for dinner.
Well, so the point is, everybody, once again, I know
Be
you've been
prepared.
told 1,000 times, but it's going to happen. It's not if, it's when. we're
Rotate those
due.
canned foods.
We are due. So
Make sure you're eating the stuff
And-
coming up on expiration
and I'm
before
gonna
the
say
new
this
stuff.
also, you should also know your neighbors on your street. I know the last time we had back in the 90s, we had a large earthquake here. I went to several neighbors' houses and went and checked on them, and we had one of our elderly residents had things fall, bookshelves fall on her bed, and she couldn't really leave the bed. So, just because it's not a disaster doesn't mean things don't fall on people, and especially your elderly residents. So check on your neighbors. This is a good reason to know your neighbors.
And that's a good reason for, it happened a little while ago, but National Night Out is to get to know your neighbors, where the elderly neighbors are, disabled neighbors maybe, that in times of earthquakes or emergencies like that could use a little help.
well, people have also bought new furniture. You might have a new,
I have new furniture.
is it bolted to the wall?
Yes,
No,
it
but
is,
he
actually.
is.
No, actually, I have it in my house. It's bolted to the wall.
See, but a lot of people might have brought something in. We don't think of
We're not-
earthquakes.
we've-
And a lot of that new furniture comes with tie-down straps,
Now it does,
earthquake
yeah.
straps to attach to the
Yeah,
wall. A lot of
well,
people just throw them away.
Us older guys who've been through it before. This is the first back in the 70s we had that earthquake. The house went flying over. So, you learn. And now if you don't bolt it down, you're not learning from mistakes.
Too many of us have to learn the hard way, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
Be prepared.
You have something to put your animal in if you have to get out. Are you prepared for your animal? Do you have extra food put away? You have food for yourself.
Medicines, batteries.
You're going to
all
laugh.
that.
I feed my dog dry food, and I have 2 or 3 cans of emergency canned food of the same brand in case that happens. And yes, I do have a can opener to open it.
There you go.
Those cans you can't pop up. You need a can opener.
and you should also have some kind of a radio, a transistor radio. So you can turn on KNX and hear what's going on, because
KNX.
if the power's out.
Isn't it KBAM, Burbank AM radio? KBAM.
And that's they'll have that up about 4 days after it happens, probably. It's like the fires. How's that work in the fires?
True.
Whoops, we forgot we had that. And how much of our tax money do we pay if that maintain it every year that we don't use? Okay, well, that's it for
earthquake.
For the past little notes.
We're rolling out of a slow time of year right now.
Yes, we are.
Out of the holidays.
Yes. For some reason, people decide they don't want to do things in the holidays. I don't understand why, because life does go on. But last Tuesday, we had absolutely nothing. No council meeting, nothing. They were dark.
You didn't even put Monday on here.
Well, I did.
Shows how busy that was.
I did, but we always seem to expedite it.
Got to start somewhere.
Wednesday. Wednesday, not a whole lot either. In fact, I actually went out and got a haircut store. I went out and got a haircut on Wednesday. Now, this is the second time that I went to Floyd's barbershop on Hollywood Way.
Oh, yeah.
And I went there the week before. Why? Because they were voted my Burbank's best. So I want to go and see how they are. Well, I go last week, and I think they have like 20 stations in there. And there was like 3 people working. I go, yeah, oh, no. If you don't have an appointment, and it says, walk-ins.
Yeah, they're usually independently leased.
So I go, well,
spots,
where are
right?
your people? It's 4 in the afternoon. I go, where are people? They go, oh, they're at lunch. And I said, why are you lying to me? You're not at lunch. You just don't have people working. So
right.
I left. I came back this last week. Same thing. 3 people working. And if I wanted an appointment, I had to wait at least till 7 o'clock at night. And this is at, once again, 3:30 in the afternoon. I go, where are your people? I go, oh, they're off today. I said, why would you have 3/4 of your workers off on the same day? And she looked at me like I don't know what to say. Nobody's requested me before on this.
But do they all work for Floyd's, or are they independent contractors that lease those spots? Yeah.
And
so they have their own schedule.
And guess what? They're not working.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is empty. So I found a place over at Burbank and Magnolia and Pass called the Burbank Barbershop, and walked in there, and a barber named Martine took care of me very nicely. They're an independent little shop, locally owned. They just own that little barbershop. It's not a corporation or nothing. And they did a nice job for me. And you can see that the haircut does not make me look any better. But
can I make a recommendation?
I just took a drink of water. I almost lost it.
Please do.
That's one of the.
Yeah, this is Danny Thomas spit take, I believe it's known as, right?
Well, you know what I recommend?
Ah.
You get a razor like mine, and you cut it like mine every day. I'll tell you, my head is so smooth and furry, and look, all I got to do
Is it smooth or furry?
Watch it.
Well,
We're already explicit on this episode, thanks to you.
Anyhow, so shout out to Burbank Barbershop on Magnolia and Pass.
Do they have a barber pole?
There's I don't think so.
So this is more of a shout.
Yeah, it's just
shout out to Burbank Barbershop and a shout at.
Yeah,
Floyd's.
they're not advertising. They but I'm just saying, if
did you say you had Floyd?
Floyd is not the place to go.
Floyd's not.
Well, it's now in fairness to them, they were all independent contractors, so they probably all have their own clientele and work by appointments. They're not standing there all day.
Actually, I spoke wrongly on that.
Okay.
The other time I went to Floyd's, and the guy said he worked for Floyd's, the barber.
Okay.
But I guess they don't stay. The barbers don't stay.
Clearly.
They're there 2 or 3 months and they're out.
Maybe they saw you coming.
Oh, they said we can't make
Said
that.
I didn't sign up for that.
We got to shampoo that. Forget
We
it.
can't make that look any
I didn't
better.
go to beauty school for that. Don't have enough bondo.
I was a third base coach for 40 years. I heard a lot worse. Trust me.
From the parents?
Oh yeah, no, from the opposing team. Oh yeah, they would sit there and be merciless, and the parents, of course, the parents of the other team.
Oh yeah,
I heard it all. And
all right. So
I laughed.
So vote of approval from Mr. Sherwood for Burbank Barbershop.
There we go. Also on Wednesday, here's a little.
Now this is where you need the teletype music.
Yeah, well, we do have that for you. On Wednesday,
from a news release from Burbank Police Department. Here's Craig with the official notification.
Well, Burbank Police put out a press release saying, in all transparency, we have now set up a a broadcast system so you can listen to our police calls with a 15-minute delay. Just go to Broadcastify and you can hear them here. Now, here's the problem. Number one.
Now, this is where you need the teletype because they didn't tell this part.
Yeah, number one, the feed's 18 minutes old because I've now timed it a couple times, and it's not 15, it's 18 minutes old. Okay, that's one thing. Here's number two. It hasn't worked the last 3 days. So in all transparency, your transparency fell in a mud puddle.
Maybe they run out of Floyd's.
Absolutely.
I think you're right. One of the barbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Punch
I
in
haven't
there.
seen them in 3 days either.
Because they put out, they make sure everybody knows how transparent they are with this, and then it doesn't work. And you know what? There's no number on there to call to say, hey, this is not working. There's no email to say, hey, this isn't working. It's just not working. It just says offline.
So do we know where the hiccup is? Where the feed's coming from? It's going to be tied into communications.
I have no idea, and there's no way of.
I'm going to write an email to the chief tonight.
There you go.
When I get done, and I'm going to say, so much for your press release. Your system hasn't worked in days.
There you go. Neener.
Yeah, neener.
So once again, what I find it's the only people who use the word transparency are always the ones hiding something. How many times you heard the word transparency out of city council, and then things like Tin Horn Flats? They don't say a word in the fact. They say they won the lawsuit. Oh, you didn't win anything. You didn't even sue for anything. All in all transparency. How about in all transparency?
Well, they didn't lose.
In all transparency, why don't you say we never sued for the $300,000 that they owed us?
Now, the only transparency that I really trust used to be Kodachrome 64. Am I totally off the base here?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Yes, you are.
Now we'll go in the Wayback Machine. Much younger Ross Benson when the typewriters typed in pencil and film was in black and white.
You use far more Tri-X 400 than you use anything else.
Oh.
Well, it's all those chemicals from the darkroom. They have some long-term effects.
Yes, they do.
That's
it. I don't know why you're looking at me when you do that. Your camera's over there.
That fixer was mighty potent.
It was.
You mean the Dextol?
No, that was the developer.
Oh, okay.
Fixer was the one gets on your fingers and turn funny. No, that was Stop Bath. That would turn your fingers yellow.
Yeah, we just use water.
Yeah, well, that was a cheap way to do it.
Pictures look just as good.
This is true.
Okay, moving on to Thursday. It was canceled due to lack of interest.
No Thursday. Thursday was canceled.
Friday, a sister delegation from Incheon came and visited Burbank, and our mayor, Nick Schultz.
Is that in Japan? Is that the?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
He gave them a little tour of the city and had them sit in the council chambers and took a picture with them. And
I don't know if they took a tour of the city.
Well, it was a little tour. They never left the chambers.
I saw them walking down the street in a picture. So
a little tour.
Well, yeah, up on 3rd Street. So for the picture, they had to get to a ribbon cutting after that.
Oh, geez.
No, but they took a picture in front of City Hall, in the chambers, in his office, walking down 3rd and said, "Thank you very much. I have somewhere else to go."
Now get back to the airport. Sheesh.
But
what a welcome committee.
if I recall, Incheon was one of our first. Oda was our first, and then Incheon. Oda, Japan. Yeah.
Wait, isn't Incheon South Korea? I think Incheon's South Korea, isn't it?
Oops.
I don't know. You're the executive editor in this outfit.
All I know.
Your homework assignment.
We don't do anything for them. They don't do anything for us, except we want to just say that we're sisters.
Well, then
do we have a corrections at myburbank.com?
Oh, yeah,
so people can submit corrections.
That's next week's show.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow,
you know what was after that Incheon visit?
On Friday, what was it?
I did a ribbon cutting.
No.
We talked about it last week.
How could a week go by?
Yeah,
which one was this?
The clay place, Clayton,
Claytivity.
You were there,
but they didn't have.
Did you reenact that scene from Ghost? The Righteous Brothers or whatever.
But how many times have you driven down Isabel?
On
purpose? Anytime I need industrial supplies.
And this building, the guy said, we lease this for 10 years. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. Ashley did a little video reel for my Burbank, and huge warehouse, make coffee pots and tea. And you remember what you used to do in Miss Bacchus's elementary class? Make clay stuff. Well, you can make real clay stuff there, and paint it and burn it.
I was always stuck with Mrs. Melton.
Oh yes,
Well, she was.
Careful.
We're talking about our elementary school days.
Right.
Good old Robert Louis Stevenson,
You remember who the 6th grade guy was, right?
Mr. Brindle.
Brindle. What a great guy.
I always had
What a tall guy. What a great guy, though.
Yeah, he was. He was. Our days of
I'm
Burbank.
starting to feel alienated here, people.
Well,
Yeah,
that
but we
moves,
never had to shovel snow.
that moves us to the
It's
weekend.
true.
And on the weekend, one little event of note is, unfortunately, somebody had a house fire on the 1900 block of Kenwood. Burbank Center first response there. They had fire showing from the right side of the house when they got there. And they actually wound up asking for a couple more engines besides the first assignment. Ross, you got anything on that?
Well, I listened to the fire from the dispatch, and they had smoke visible from a couple of miles
Yeah.
out. And when you have smoke visible, you kind of expect we have a big
It
fire.
sounded like a propane tank, right?
Well, they had a propane tank inside, and I don't know if they were using that for heating or if it was some of, you can use them for other things now. But they had smoke showing from the front door. They laid lines in, and apparently there was a place next door that a care facility that they worried about on the de-exposure on the right side of the place, that it would, but they had them shelter in place. But what got me is fire never got it through the roof. They put 3 holes in the roof, and they said we have smoke, but we have no fire, which means fire didn't get into the attic.
Which is good, because attic
is right.
fires that usually means you're a goner, the house is a goner.
But what really got me, they were out there. The fire went down, I think, at about 9:47 Saturday night, and I heard the chief finally clear at close to 3:30 in the morning. They were out there all night doing investigation.
Well, I know that the investigator didn't get it at least to 1 in the morning.
Right. Well, he comes from a distance. But it's a good time. I don't know the cause of this. I do know they asked for an investigator.
We have asked for information. We're still waiting for the fire department to get back to us.
But this is a
So
good
hopefully
time.
they
I'd
will.
like to remind people, if your Christmas tree
Yes.
is in your house, now is the time to get it out.
Get it out of
If
there.
it's still in there,
If
this
you-
is the season for Christmas tree fires and interior heater fires.
Yep. If you have not vacuumed your heater, but the biggest thing, even if you've watered your tree, it is time to get that tree out of the house. I have been on so many fires over my 50 years of shooting caused by a candle that the cat knocked over next to the tree, or the tree having lights on it in the middle of January. Folks, time to get rid
Just
of it.
produce heat. And you can see countless videos on YouTube and anywhere on the internet of demonstrations of dry
They literally go up in
Christmas
10
trees,
seconds.
and they go up like a torch.
Yes.
A torch.
If you can take a needle off your tree and
Yeah.
break it and it snaps, your tree hasn't been watered in a long time.
And,
Get it out of
and
there.
even if it's been watered, it's still dead.
Well, these things were dead when you bought them, so they just get rid of them. Like pick a day, traditionally, hey, January 1st, or the weekend after Christmas or something like that. But you see people in February putting them out on the sidewalk, like that is
I-
way too long.
When you get a tree, you put the ornaments and the lights on it, and it looks all pretty. And after Christmas, you just get a little tired, and it takes a lot more to take all that stuff off.
Right.
But you know what? If you don't have somewhere to sleep because of a house fire caused by a dry tree, think about it, folks. It could happen in the middle of the night. This happened
And
at
they usually,
9.
very often they do,
Or be like me.
because nobody's paying attention. Nobody's smelling smoke.
Be like me. Don't
early
spend
on.
your money on a dead tree.
Well, but I honestly, so unfortunate for this house fire, 1900 block of Kenwood. Thank
No
goodness-
injuries,
No injuries, no pets.
no pets, no.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
everybody got out.
Good.
It's a good time to always have that drill. You talk about earthquakes,
Yeah.
of how to get out of your house if the door not, gets blocked.
And one more thing about earthquakes and house fires. You should have a designated meeting place for your family members.
Yes.
So if something happens in your house, you say, okay, we're all going to meet by this tree.
Ours was
Or
always at the
at this
mailbox at the end
corner.
of the driveway.
Or something, yeah, where everybody knows, okay, this is where we're going to meet and make sure we're all here, so we know everybody's, nobody's missing.
Great point.
How many times have we all three have been on fires or incidents where something happens and you get totally, turned around of where you are and the shock and the
Well,
fire.
just the
and
chaos
noise.
of it all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Listen,
can even find your way out of your own house.
well, like they said, when you're flying and a door flies off an airplane, what did they talk
That
to every
that doesn't
person?
happen.
Well, but what did it? Every person on that plane said it was total chaos for the first couple of minutes. Same thing.
And they also said that every flight attendant did a great job of settling him down and talking him through it. So
Yep.
nice job for that.
And that's what your flight attendants are there for. They're
Yep.
not there to serve you crackers and drinks and stuff. They're there for your safety.
And
They're
they did a good
professionals.
job.
Yes.
Okay.
Kudos to them.
Well, that's it for the week that was, and that wasn't much of a week that was, but it was a week that was.
Twas.
Was
Twas.
So
it will be.
we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in 1 second.
Enjoying the show right now? Thinking you may want to do your own podcast? My Burbank Talks is renting out our podcast studio on an hourly rate. You can do audio podcasts or both audio and video, and even bring in guests to talk with. We will help you get set up on podcast platforms and start a YouTube channel, and we can edit your productions to make you look and sound your very best. If you are interested, please drop us an email at studiorentals@myburbank.com. That's studiorentals@myburbank.com, and we will get back to you. Now, back to our show.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Wait, is what, Monday today? It's somebody's
It
birthday.
is Monday.
Today is Monday.
Today is Craig Durling's birthday. You thought
It is my birthday.
you thought I was going to say somebody else,
And
didn't
I
you?
still showed up. Well, I showed up on my birthday, too. So
Yes. You thought I was going to
That's the
say
whole point
somebody
of it.
else, didn't you? But today's Craig
it is
Durling's
somebody
birthday.
else's birthday today.
So-
But
And whose birthday would that be?
MLK.
MLK.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Yep. He had
Have
a
you
dream.
ever had a dream?
He had a dream.
He had a dream.
He had a dream.
And we
And,
also know him as
Wait.
we also know him as MLK.
MLK. Wait,
Oh,
MLK?
wait.
Oh,
Man, everything's going on today.
MLK. That means it's the word of the week. We're back with the word of the week again.
The word of the week is it's
Why,
actually
the initials
three
of the
letters in
week.
consecutive order.
Initials of the week.
MLK.
MLK.
Really impossible to misspell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
But he'll
Thank
still,
you.
Put happy birthday.
Appreciate it. It is
MLK.
my birthday, and y'all treated me to a very nice dinner tonight, and I appreciate that.
we enjoyed it. It was,
That was
good.
very nice. You got a little cake there
Got
and
some cake
a
with
candle.
a little
Did you
candle.
blow it out?
It was very good.
They didn't put 55. No, you're not 55.
I am not 55. I am. You know what? You can count all. You can cut me in half and count the rings like a tree,
He's 29.
but I'm still the baby in this group.
That's true.
That's true.
By far.
That's true.
I barely just got my license.
But let's go back a little bit and talk about our word of the week, our initials of the week. If you send an email with the initials MLK, which is our word of the week, we will send you that $25 gift card for Hill Street Cafe. Hill Street Cafe is still with us as one of our amazing
Yes.
sponsors, and they do a great job. We love Hill Street Cafe.
I had lunch there the week before last, and it was fantastic.
Can I let you in on a secret?
Please do.
Okay. I talked to the owner, and guess what he's going to be offering soon? Kids eat free on Thursdays.
Well, then I have to start dressing like a little kid.
I'm still not going to have a kid.
Guess what? They're also going to offer specials on weekends like a free stack. Now, I'm not sure.
A free stack.
Free stack.
I'm
on what?
glad it's just us hearing this, because you don't want everybody to know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
chances are, if you go to Hill Street for lunch or whatever, the owner may very well be waiting on your table.
Yeah.
Yes.
And send your
Good old
your,
Juan.
an email to us at myburbank.com with the
What's the
MLK
Is it contest at myburbank.com?
Yes, contest at myburbank.com, and put MLK in the subject line, and we will enter you in for this week's gift card giveaway, $25 gift card giveaway. So.
Oh, it's a good one. Grab it. Grab it. If you've listened this far in the show, you're being rewarded by the possibility the $25 gift card. But thank you. It is my birthday. Yet another one. But it is, I've grown up sharing a birthday with the great Martin Luther King Jr. And I will say that going through elementary and junior high school, I never had school on my birthday because that was an age prior to the modern age where they do the 3-day weekend thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where even if the holiday's on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
they celebrate it with a day off on Monday or Friday. Right. Well, it happens to be Monday today, but today is the actual day of his birthday, the 15th of January. So we celebrated on the actual day this year. But
So it didn't matter if you had snow days, you had MLK days.
I had that, but I never got the birthday party at school
because
I wasn't there.
Oh, so today was perfect.
I'm going to say, I'll say this also. A lot of these days we get off for these people who we have no idea who they were, and it turning out now that some had strange backgrounds, as we find out more down the line, 150 years later from some of our past presidents and stuff. But, I know Ross and I, we were alive when MLK was doing his thing, and we were aware of him. And I was also aware of when he was assassinated. And I appreciate the fact that I know what he was about, not really well, but I know what he was about. And there's somebody I knew about that now has a nationally recognized holiday named after them. So I do appreciate that. I don't think we had any events by the city of Burbank today to recognize it.
Yeah, they had a breakfast at VFW.
By the city of Burbank put that on?
Both mayor and vice mayor was there.
No, but the city of Burbank.
No, the
Okay.
city.
Like a city sanctioned.
Yeah,
not
we had no
memorial.
city-sanctioned events, but we did have private organizations who did recognize it,
They had, I guess, over at the VFW, they had Doris Herrera band play. They had kids doing posters. They read poetry and from some of the schools, and that was put on by Burbank Human Relations Council.
Okay.
That's
Good old
good.
Marshall
That's
Romero.
important. That's important for the
Yeah.
for the young ones
Definitely.
to learn who he was.
We don't want
Because
people,
it still all applies today.
we don't want people to go out and spend a whole day researching, Martin Luther King or whatever the holiday is, but you should take a few moments of your day to recognize the person and what they achieved and
Learn why we have these days.
at least learn about it.
Well, I
It's not-
kind of learned.
some of these holidays, it's not just about having the day off from work and firing up the barbecue. Why do we have that day?
Well, I did not realize that one of the things that they were pushing this year is a day of service. Just doing something out of your regular realm for MLK Day. I mean, get out of
Doing
yourself.
something for someone else.
Yep.
Well, we did.
exactly.
We took Craig out to dinner tonight for his birthday.
There you go. And I tolerated you for
That was a
dinner.
day of service
Boom,
for us.
done.
But if you
No,
think
but I know
about
you're
it,
saying that, and that's a good point.
just get out of yourself and
But it's too bad the city.
Volunteer somewhere.
I'm sure.
Plenty of opportunities.
I'm sure the city council did a proclamation for it, but too bad they don't do an event for it.
Did they have a dig event for this? For today? No dig. No dig.
No, they don't want to pay any city official any extra money to do anything on a holiday.
but it's I'm glad that
Well,
we recognize
Let's
it.
keep this one positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on to tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Arts and Public Places is scheduled to have a special meeting. I hope it's tomorrow because I looked at the agenda, and the agenda says Monday, January 16th. So I'm a little bit confused.
I'm going with the
because-
16th since
because-
nothing was going to happen today.
Yeah, today's Monday, but tomorrow is the 16th, Tuesday. So I put down for Tuesday. They're going to talk about artwork for the new terminal project. And the developer, which I find interesting. Well, first, the developer has to pay $2,175,000 to the city of Burbank for public artwork, for the outsides, everything else. But here's what's funny. Aren't we the developers?
Well, they're just
no.
going to pass the cost on to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, we own the airport.
But
you know-
I thought the arts, the funds, when you do a project,
Well, no, it's in there the thing, right? As far as you
you
got,
have to pay.
but so we're going to pay ourselves $2 million for our, I just find it strange.
It's not like it's coming out of the developer's pocket.
Yeah, the developers.
It's all worked into their budget.
Yeah, which we're paying for.
Right. I assume. I mean,
Well, we're paying 1/3 of it, I should say. Glendale and Pasadena have the other third each. So, I mean, and it's fine. We need to have a beautiful new terminal facility. I agree. It's just funny how they're saying that the developer has
it's
to.
a shell game. It's all a shell game.
It's we're paying for it.
Out of the good nature and the heart of the developer.
Let's think of that. And I'm going to say, as you said last week, new.
Oh, new.
The new replacement terminal.
And by the way, on the agenda I looked at, it did say new terminal. It did not say replacement terminal on the Arts and Public Places agenda. It said new. It had the word new on it.
Gotcha.
Well, the thing that one of our commissioners sent me, I can't wait. I've been around a long time. I remember when they talked about this when Lockheed used to be
yeah, isn't that the truth?
And
It was the Skunk Works when you were
well, it was
growing up. Yeah.
And what we used to be there, you guys drove past it tonight
Yes.
to see where it's going to be. You go past the Avion.
There's a great book about that location.
Right.
The Skunk Works. It's called Skunk Works by Ben Rich, who was one of the guys who ran the Skunk Works.
Right.
Some amazing stories of what went on there.
So, but the new replacement terminal, you think about it, I can't wait to see. I guess the developers are on the finishing touches of doing
The architect,
the layout.
yeah. And as we found out, the groundbreaking is on the 25th. I'm sure they'll have 25 shovels out there and 25 hard hats.
Right.
And 25
And one big pair of
elected
scissors.
officials,
One big pair of scissors.
and one photographer named Ross Benson.
There'll be a lot of photographers. out there.
I heard all the artwork is going to be provided by Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
It's a lot of straws, which you can't have in
They found it all on
plastic
his
straws
laptop.
anymore, right?
They found it all on his laptop. It was all sitting there ready to go.
Well, it's going to be interesting. A new terminal for us to witness be built. I mean, we've seen that old terminal all our life, and the new one's going to be single story and some of the things about it. But this artwork, think about it. I wonder what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And
It's interesting because we're witnessing history.
Yep.
City history.
Yep. Been around for a lot of it.
well, for our whole lifetime, I don't think they'll have another terminal.
Well, the council's also going to be dark tomorrow, but the mayor will be busy tomorrow night because he'll be here in the Maya Burbank studios.
Is that why the council is dark? Because the mayor's going to be here?
That's it. The Maya Burbank Talk Studios to do his first Ask the Mayor podcast.
It is his first one.
Yeah, so we're still accepting people if you have questions, send us an email to questions@myburbank.com, and I will be glad to ask him the question. We'll just use your first name, or if you want me to use no name at all, let me know. It's not about who you are; it's about the question you want to ask. Yeah, and make sure it's a question that is a good general interest question, not
So not like what's your favorite color?
Yeah, and
How long is your tie?
And it's not an attack session. This is about asking legitimate questions about Burbank that you really want to know about.
It's a chance to ask the new mayor
So
questions about the direction of the city.
he says he wants to do one once a month with us, which is what we kind of have planned. So that'll be our first Ask the Mayor podcast. It'll be out later this week. So
He's
we will
kind of
enjoy
laid
that.
out his agenda when he, during the reorganization. And I think a couple of times he's kind of said what he's looking at. He's only in that chair for a year, and every mayor has what they would like to get done. So it'll be interesting to have him tomorrow.
So that'll be interesting.
Now we're going to record that tomorrow, or are we doing that live?
We'll probably just record it.
Okay, and it'll be ready by the end of the week.
Yeah, I'll probably have it out by Thursday, late Thursday. So look for it later this week.
At least by the time he's out of office.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Good to have goals.
our Chamber of Commerce is going to have an 8:30 a.m. meeting. I don't know if Ross is going to be there for that 8:30 a.m. meeting or not. It's for any of the member businesses to help them maximize their benefits of being a member. So if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce and just don't pay them a check every year and say you're a member, they have a lot of things they can help you with. So stop by and see what they can do for you. They're going to provide a light breakfast compared to a dark breakfast, of course.
Well, I don't think
there.
our Burbank Chamber of Commerce has changed since COVID, since everything. These office buildings aren't full anymore. We have a lot of small independent companies. You know, some of these people that do animation do it in their garage. Some of these people that
It's
are
not about the big businesses anymore.
Exactly.
The big corporations.
So that is one of their plans, is how to help you,
A small business.
small business, be, you know, you're going to laugh. We did a story a long time ago on a small production company, animation. Devin Horrenda did it, that they started off in their bathroom, you know, doing animation.
Kind of like this podcast.
Huh?
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
The acoustics are great.
And then they went from that to their garage, and now they are in an office building around 4 Points that is huge. It all started in somebody's bathroom here in Burbank, and they do animation for Warner Brothers, Disney, for all of them now. But think about that. There are a lot of small businesses that just need to talk to somebody. How do you do this? Or
Well, that's the point of a Chamber of Commerce, isn't it? Is
Exactly.
to support local business.
and that's what Burbank Chamber is really, that's their emphasis now.
Good.
It's not the big, huge Disney, Warner Brothers, Telemundo,
Right.
you know, all that. It's the
They
small.
don't need the help.
Well, Wednesday night, we're having a police commission meeting at 6 p.m. at City Hall. And of course, we're going to have presentations. Doesn't mean we're going to do anything or suggest anything or recommend anything, but we will have presentations. We're going to have one on DUI stats, driving under the influence. So we have stats of the enforcement detail during the holidays and what happened. I'm not sure why they need to, they should be doing proactive stuff, but they're doing stuff that happened last year. They will also have a presentation of the military equipment for 2024.
These are the donations, right? From the government.
Donations, and I think they have to discuss when to have a public viewing of it.
Right. I remember last year we talked about this, and I made us think about the terminology, why they have to call it military equipment, even though it's not used in that
But
that
they
way
have to
in the
because
cities. But we
where they're
realized it
getting
was
it from.
because that's the actual legal terminology they have to use in the process.
Right. So, once again, and we will talk to the mayor about some of these commissions, I think, tomorrow in our podcast. We want to ask him about how necessary they are to have their meetings every month if they have nothing to do. Anyhow, let's move on to Thursday. The Water and Power is having their board meeting, and besides having a financial report, which is always very important, they're going to talk about a solar project for the Ritzy. Now, the Ritzy is the parking structure by the Burbank Airport, Regional Intertow Transportation Center.
Sure.
I think is what the RITC stands
If
for.
you said it with just a little more conviction and confidence, I might buy it.
I shouldn't
But-
have written it down. The old memory.
I like how
you.
you put it in the rundown here phonetically,
Yes, I did.
even though it is letters, RITC.
Yes, I wrote down.
So, but maybe you should have put what the
Well, unlike one of our
words are.
past mayors, I try to pronounce things correctly.
Right, good for you. That's good. It's to be commended.
So they're going to they're talking about doing an entire solar thing on top of that.
I recall they've been talking about that for a while. There's a lot of square footage up there.
Yes.
There is, but I remember. I'm glad I don't live on the hill anymore because when they built it and the lighting inside the place is unshielded. So if you live on the hill and you're looking at this parking structure from halfway across town at night, it's just an eyesore because
You were
you just
waiting-
have all these glaring lights from inside the
You're
thing,
waiting for the space shuttle to take off.
and that's at night. And now you're going to have the sun reflecting off all the solar panels in the daytime,
Yeah, that's all.
It's
That's
even
going
better.
to be a huge thing.
all in the name of energy.
What the one thing to me, that's a project that I understand why it needed to be made, but it was never number one, they're supposed to have a walkway from the Ritzy to the train station. They never did.
No, I did a ribbon cutting out
There's
there.
supposed to be an overhead walkway.
Right, they never did that.
They never did it. And here's the big thing. When you pick up that terminal and you build a new terminal, not just a replacement, but a new terminal a lot farther away.
It's on the other side of the runway now.
Yeah.
What? There's no place to walk at all.
Yeah,
It's all
so
going to be
how-
shuttles.
But next week I'll bring in so we can put it out with next week's podcast, I saw the drawing of a parking structure behind the terminal.
Yeah, but the Ritzy is still going to be there.
Yes.
So how are they going to
gotta-
have
Now they're going to have
realize-
shuttles.
But the Ritzy is more,
for rental
It's
cars?
rentals and stuff.
there's rental cars now.
So you want to rent a car? How are you going to get there?
Well, they're going to be, they said, what's it called? Earth mover or
A people mover,
people
like
mover?
a tram.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said there's going to be a bridge over
I think
Empire
Disney
too.
should design that.
Well, there is to get to the current terminal, there is a walkway and
Yes.
a cover.
No, but they
And a-
talked about
and
the
a-
one that went over Empire to the train
right.
station.
That one never happened.
Right. That's what I was talking about.
But for the Ritzy, there is.
Yeah.
And it looks like a really long walk. If you look at it by satellite, like Google Earth, it looks like
It is a long
a
walk.
really
actually.
long walk.
Right. With the new terminal, it'll be.
Well, you wouldn't be able. They can't put an overhead pedestrian bridge over the
No.
runway 8.
No, they can't do that, huh?
No.
Anyhow, so that's one of the, that's one of the reports about, and it would be interesting to know which way those solar panels are going to be facing, because you're right. If they're facing the hills of Burbank, I don't know which way they tilt them because
Or the Hollywood
the
Hills.
sun's going east and west. So I don't know if they go straight up or if they do put them on an angle. If they do, where's that reflection going to go?
Right.
Well,
It's bad enough with the artificial lighting in there.
I would pretty sure that they got to face the sun. And you only have,
Well, the sun is up.
but so many hours of the day you want to get.
Yeah. So
that
when's the
sun.
best?
Well, they'll have,
Well, in theory, there are some solar panels that track
really?
east and west. Will
Maybe that's
follow
what
it.
these will be. So
Yeah.
But
And neither of those should be facing the hill or Hollywood Hills.
Well, my curiosity is who's going to benefit that energy that they're attracting?
Where is that power going?
Yeah.
well, hopefully to the airport. So we're paying less money because we're the ones once again paying the bill on that too.
But I thought it was more into that's why water and power is so involved, because some of it goes back into the city system.
I'm not, in all honesty, I'm not sure what this. We seem to have no solar policy in this city because, as a homeowner, I once looked at solar, and Burbank has no incentive programs, no anything for solar. To me, it's like, well, if I were to put solar in my house, maybe they wouldn't be happy because now all of a sudden, that's one less customer for them.
Well, if your
We
theory
own the utility.
if your theory rings true, then they'll probably do a presentation for the police commission.
Absolutely.
So just tune in to that.
Well, we don't have a director.
You're a year older. You're a lot better now.
I'm wiser.
Oh yeah.
I'm wiser now, right?
We don't have a Department of Water and Power general manager anymore. So,
Oh, she left and went to it was Seattle, right?
yep, Seattle
So we're looking. Justin Hess is out there
looking.
around, and so I can't say she wasn't good, because if she wasn't good, she wouldn't be going to a city like Seattle, because that's a step up the ladder. So
She
hopefully,
did quite a bit here, and people don't realize when you go up Magnolia Boulevard and you see that whole power plant, we're selling power to several cities, and people don't realize, not just Burbank.
yeah.
So,
Well, Friday this week.
Big day Friday.
Yep. In fact, you can take the day off with pay.
Oh, okay. So nothing Friday.
No, Friday's been canceled due to lack of interest. Moving on to the weekend.
oh,
Logix, who is one of our credit unions here in Burbank, is actually opening up another facility as close to Burbank as you can get here
And
in
a
Toluca
sponsor,
Lake.
aren't they?
They're one of our sponsors.
Seems
Yeah.
I've read that name, but many times.
Yes. They're going to be here in Toluca Lake, and they're having an open house for the public from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the new location here, which is on, I believe, Mariota and Riverside.
is that, yeah.
Used to be the Wells Fargo Bank. Wasn't that what that was?
Was that, well, no, it was, where,
Wouldn't it be funny if it's where Cupid's used to be?
Yeah.
That Pink's Hot Dogs is going to be
no,
there
it's,
serving
the
food.
bank, the red and white, the bank where the chicken place is on Olive. What bank was that?
That was U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank. That was a U.S.
Oh, okay. That was also Wells Fargo at one time too.
Oh, was it? And where Marie Callender?
And before
Wow.
and before the bank, you know what it was? It was a Union 76 gas station.
You know what's happening right now, everybody? They call this a rat hole.
Yes.
Going into
Well, you
another
know-
rat hole.
You know who designed that building?
You told me it's the guy who designed the Diamond Building.
The Diamond Building?
What
No,
do you call it?
no, the iceberg buildings. at Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay, same thing.
Also,
I-
Disney Concert Hall.
A lot of glass.
I gotta
a
tell
lot
you,
of glass.
I
A lot of windows. A lot of glass.
I gotta tell you what, that is one of the ugliest buildings. It looks like it's a construction project. They just took two modular units and stuck them on top of each other. I mean,
Wow.
that's
There's
what
no, making,
I mean,
there's no making this guy happy. Or there's
He
no
was-
satisfying this guy.
And they won awards for that.
I just
Frank
uh,
Gehry.
The Iceberg
Frank Gehry.
Frank
Foundation.
Garrity, yeah. Oh no, it's I'm sure it's very practical, and I'm not a building person.
It goes
But
to show
me,
you the last time you walked into a bank.
So
When was the last time anybody walked into a bank?
don't mind them. Don't mind them. If you want some free Pink's hot dogs, go to the Logic's grand opening
Pinks will be there from 11 to
this
1.
coming weekend from 11 to 1 for their grand opening.
So if you like Pinks, and I'll tell you, Pinks makes a heck of a hot dog.
Ooh.
It's a great
Indeed.
place to stop by Logic's and let them know you heard about it here on the old podcast and say hi to them and open up an account. There's Logic here in Burbank and Toluca Lake, and they have in Santa Clarita.
You know, it's funny. We have some great advertisers on myburbank.com. Most of the credit unions are with us. And here you can get Pink's hot dogs. At Gain Credit Union, you can get In-N-Out burgers once a year if they have a
So
big
you could
party.
just join every credit union that sponsors my Burbank,
And you can eat.
and you eat for free all year.
Right.
Amazing! What a deal!
Yeah, I know.
What a deal!
UB Credit Union's been with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
And they have a Ferris wheel in their parking lot once a year.
Stan Lynch actually got that for us.
Well, I did too, but Stan knew the rep there.
Yep. Well, they've been very good to us, and we appreciate them.
Good old Anita.
So just to keep this train moving down the tracks, we've reached the time in the program
It's only one thing
that
left,
everybody stays up this late for,
and that
and we're
is
all waiting to hear because this is always new to us. We never know what the topic is going to be, but it is time for
Ross's
Rant.
Rant.
What? Don't you have the theme song? for
Ross's rant, bigger than the biggest ant.
Well, you guys always ask me for Ross's rant, and I put little things in my phone to remind
We don't ask you to do it. This is a relief valve, so you don't explode in front of us
right.
every night.
You know what time I usually put this stuff? I write this in the middle of the night.
I think you make it up right about now. Honestly,
I just want to know. Isn't that how I usually start it? I just want to know why Burbank
what's the deal?
is reactive and not proactive. On a lot of things.
We've said it tonight on our show.
We were talking about this over
Yeah.
the last week or two. We've been talking about this.
Well, it
very
bothers
thing.
me. I put on TV and I see Glendale Police Department has a new canine for not to go out and bite criminals. They take them out for crime victims. It's a therapy dog. And that dog runs around the police station and doesn't do law enforcement work. He does therapy work. Well, Glendale Fire Dispatch now has a therapy dog. And it just kind of gets me on all these things. I look on social media. I see 10 things from our neighbor in Glendale that they're doing. And we don't have, can't say.
Oh,
You have
you've already
before.
crossed that line.
You have before.
This is when you can say it. So save it all up for your rant.
We don't have shit going out.
Not being very progressive thinking, very forward thinking.
Look at our Burbank Police Department's Instagram. They have not put anything on there in weeks. Maybe for,
Nothing happens in Burbank. And all transparency.
well, see, that's what gets me. We now have a Parks and Rec that they tell us that last week we were talking, and what department was it that their media that they were talking about, that they want to talk about their communications, how we don't push shit out.
Oh, library.
Thank you very
Library,
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you would think of the library because you want a new library in Burbank.
No, I do not.
No, he wants them called something else.
I want a new media center.
He doesn't
put in
want them
Burbank.
called libraries anymore.
Okay, I got another one for you. If you have to put a new toilet in your house or you're fixing a window, perfect time.
Got me with that one. That was pretty good.
You got to put a sign in front of your house what your contractor's going to do, and if you have a complaint about it, they tore the whole ranch, Warner Ranch, down, 36 acres. It's an empty lot now, and you can't drive. You drive around it, you don't know what's going in there. Is that going to be a new car lot? Is that where the two CarMax is going?
Right. That's what people are putting on Facebook.
How did we go from toilets to to that?
That's how
Well,
people.
those
people
signs that you need to put in front of your
but,
house.
yeah,
so
people
it-
are-
Oh, I see.
People are putting out all kinds of social media posts
Permitting
saying,
and all that.
saying, "Oh, it's more apartments, it's more this, it's more that."
Why
And
don't
that's
they-
not, yeah, that's not the truth. And there is no huge sign there saying future home of, future project of, and like Ross was saying, that's not information. But you know what? Also, when they start doing construction and the dust is going everywhere, or there's problems, or they're working too early in the morning, there's no. Who do you
Who do you
call?
complain to?
There's no. There should be a sign saying, "Call this number with your complaints," or email
Code
us.
enforcement. But you know why there is a sign there? But you know why you can't see it?
Why is that?
Because the sign itself is transparent.
Oh, that's right. Forgot this is Burbank. Transparency.
Right.
We have the secret police and the transparency signs.
You know, I've been around the city for a long time. About 68 years worth now, or this
You
year.
used to
it'll be-
plow the fields as a kid.
Well, where all those lakeside apartments are, those used to be mounds of dirt, and they
Yes.
filmed movies there.
Yes, they did.
There was no apartments there.
And there was no freeway either.
There's no
No
134.
freeway. There was no Vaughn's Market or any of that.
Rat hole.
And you know what? So I've seen a lot change.
Time machine rat hole.
Yeah, I've seen the city change quite a bit,
And
it's
it
all
hasn't
from
stopped.
It hasn't, and you know what? We're the
And in some ways, it's changed for the better. Sometimes,
That's right.
as your rants on a weekly basis display, sometimes not for the better.
Well, you know what? I will say, one of my rants a couple weeks ago was the grass. I think
Yes.
over across from Smokehouse. Now that's
And the triangle, or the
the
triangle building,
Right.
the Warner Brothers
Right.
with the giant posters on it.
Yeah.
It's been looking a mess.
since before you and I were talking. We thought because of the strike.
Right, but it was
They weren't-
because they didn't own the building anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I called the right person, Christina Spratt, who works for Jeff Worth.
The current owners
Yep.
of these properties.
And I called her, sent her a picture of the grass, and an hour later I got a picture sent back to me. The grass was cut and trimmed, and it will be now on a regular basis by their people. They did not know that it looked that bad, and they're going to put something up on that triangle building promoting something. They're going to take down what
I think the My Burbank Talks podcast should be up there.
Well, now we know everybody. The previous story about the dust and stuff coming up from the old Warner Ranch construction site. If you have a problem over there, you call Ross Benson
yes.
at 818.
Thank you very much. But, you know, these are observations. I've had people come up to me and talk to me about the mattresses in front of their house or on their block, and they know that's one of my pet peeves.
That's
You know.
standard issue for any neighbor, any block with apartment buildings.
You're
on it. It's
right.
very common. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think landlords make a little card and say, your people are moving out. When they give you notice, this is what you have to do. You've got extra trash.
Yeah,
Oh.
but when they're moving out, they don't care.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, they're really going to.
Right. Usually they don't. They leave it, and that's how it ends
They
up.
trash the place before they leave.
Well, that's probably a good advertisement for Burbank's 311, that application you could put on your phone, because you put anything down there, something will be taken care of.
Right. Last time I actually went to that app. If they want to take this as a suggestion, if they haven't fixed it since, there were several parking violations in my neighborhood, and I couldn't actually find a choice in the drop-down menu for parking violations to report parking issues. There were a lot of other things, but not
Then that
parking.
238-3000 on that one.
Oh, I know that number. I do know
Well, you
that.
know,
number
that
for
brings up a
sure.
good point, Craig, because I believe the contract for this parking control company,
Laz.
I thought that was only, we're coming up, I think, on a year.
They
And
have
it
a
was
review
6
coming up,
months
right?
or a year, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's June 1st or July 1st or
Well, I
something.
kind of
yeah.
wonder, like he
We
says,
talked about on the.
I have heard from other residents in the city, though, that they've the contract company is very letter of the law.
Yes.
Like this, they not a lot of discretion on
There's
these.
no
If
gray
they
area.
see it, there's a violation. Ticket.
that's funny you say that, because there was a post on Facebook, and a lady showed her car parked on the apron. There was a car already in the driveway. She parked behind it. Only 4 feet were blocking the sidewalk. Apparently, Laz put the ticket on the windshield, and her question was, well, where they put the ticket, I was legally parked.
That wasn't the half of the car that was in violation.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lordy B.
Yeah. Well, I think the comments of that post got stopped pretty quick, because everybody said,
Oh, never read the comments.
oh,
Never read the comments.
everybody said, that's a ticket. I'm sorry, you can't block a sidewalk. Think about people that are handicapped. Think about kids. Oh my God.
But you can block your own driveway
You mean parking in the street?
in the street.
Legally?
Sure.
I thought years ago you couldn't because they used to
Is
cite.
that in the,
That's that was always our rule we went by is you can you can block your own driveway.
until Laz took over, the rule they used to always use too was once a street sweeper went by, they wouldn't
Yeah.
cite anymore.
Well, the city I worked for, that was the rule too. Is they enforced the entire time limit on the sign.
Right.
They didn't enforce because they weren't following the street sweepers
no,
around.
but if they knew it had gone
They
by,
enforced they also didn't have the personnel to keep track of that
right?
or to look at the street or whatever. They just said, just obey this sign. That's all you have to do. Obey the sign.
Well, probably some of this stuff that we would know prior to June 1st when we could hear Laz get a sign for parking problems.
Yeah, now we
when
can't
they encrypted.
because yeah,
It'd be interesting if you almost set up an email address for people to email their
Parking
either
stuff.
where the positives or negatives for
Yeah.
Laz.
Well, it's funny is that Laz parking and parking problems is security now in Burbank. We can't hear about that. It's needs to be encrypted. We can't listen to it because that's top secret information.
Yeah. Well, you wanted a couple of rants.
There you
I
go.
gave you a couple of rants.
Good rant.
You know what? This week was a heck of a week. Today, congratulations to the Emmy Award winners. I will be proud to say that my son and daughter-in-law are sitting in that audience. My son got a tuxedo.
Well, I think they're home by now, probably.
Yeah, well, if not, the babysitter is probably on overtime.
Yes.
But he sent me pictures from, he
Had nice seats.
Good seats.
Had nice seats.
did have good seats, didn't they? And congratulations on another year older. Put another candle on your birthday cake. You probably
Thank
don't
you.
remember Sheriff John. Craig and I do. And he used
Sheriff
to
John
sing,
was great. He was the best.
put another candle on your birthday cake. Your birthday cake. You're another year older
I
today.
just remember
And there's
Sheriff
Captain Kangaroo with
Roscoe
Mr. Green
P.
Jeans.
Coltrane from Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, good old, yeah. That was filmed right there.
Yeehaw!
right there in my living room.
I was a big fan.
Right there.
Well, they wouldn't film it in the media district.
No, and we wouldn't be in the Vita district either. So
Right.
adjacent too.
All right.
We had a lot
everybody.
of stuff.
Well, that's about it for another edition of
I have to go
the
continue
week
my
that
birthday
was
party.
and the week that will be. And you got to put that funny hat back on again.
I do.
And
Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be talking to the mayor. If you want to give an email to us or any topic in Burbank.
That is questions at myburbank.com.
that's it.
And the word of the week
Is
well, it's letters, but it's MLK. Contest at myburbank.com. Get that $25 gift card to Hill Street Cafe.
that's it for another week.
Do they make their own soups?
They make their own everything.
Own
Dressings,
dressings.
soups. Yep.
So for Ross Benson and Craig Jones, Craig Sherwood saying we will talk to you again next week.
Tally
Burbank
ho!
Talks would like to thank all of my Burbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Game Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street.